So let's cover some quick Ford news with 3 pieces of important Ford news. So let's start our final episode of the live tonight. We're wrapping the show up, folks. So Ford news that y'all need to know. So we've got a little bit of information here. Ford supplier relations are down. So Ford's relationship with their suppliers have come down, and they were doing pretty good. They're in 4th place. They've come down. And, they've got, let's see who's in front of them now. They've gone into 5th position, so they're behind Toyota, Honda, General Motors, Nissan, but ahead of Stellantis. Now, I can say, of course, the supplier relationship is down between Ford and the suppliers. Ford's had a lot of trouble getting supply, so there's probably been a lot of angry phone calls of why didn't, you promised X number of batteries, why did you only deliver a 4th? Why do some of the batteries not work and we have to send you all the batteries back? What is going on? Those aren't nice conversations to have. Your relationships are going to go down if you're having to, ask the same questions over and over for the last 2 years. Production is going a lot better at Ford because the supplies are actually coming in. So they're going to get better points coming up, I think, for 23 and even better in 2024. But their supplier working relations have gone down. They're relatively high. They're in 5th now, and I expect them to start going back up in 24, 25. But what might keep them sort of in 5th and maybe even come down to 6th, Ford is really trying to have less recalls. Less recalls means you need to assemble them right the first time. You need to assemble them with the right parts, working parts. So no 2.7 liter valves that go and blow engines. I'm still going to get a 2.7 liter Ranger engine because the 2.7 liter is very reliable despite having, maybe 50 blown engines. Ford's made hundreds of thousands of 2.7 liters and a heck of a lot of success. And a few have failed. So sometimes you gotta, shake people up a little to get what you need out of them. So I expect this chart might go down a little bit more before it starts to go up because it could take several years to get those recall numbers down. So let's now cover. So right there from Ford Authority, if you want to read the article, Ford Authority, great article. Ford supplier relations deteriorated significantly last year. Brett Foote always has good, very good coverage. It's real news. It's based on data. It's based on facts. It's not made up based on something he saw in a parking lot. So more news, and really exciting news because this is Bronco news. So we've announced that we're going to have the Shelby. As long as we get the vehicle delivered, as long as it's not like a fraud thing, 2022 Mustang is going by. We're going to say hi to 2016 Shelby GT. Doesn't have track package, but that can be added. You can add a differential cooler, and more important is the transmission cooler that can be added. It's got the tech pack, so we'll have a big touch screen. It's going to mean that we're going to wait a little longer to have the Bronco. Use that Ford Lightning more, and waiting for a Bronco could actually mean some very exciting news. First of all, we might very well be getting a mid-model refresh for 2024, so that could address maybe the sound system issue. All our little things that have been bothering us somewhat. Thinking that, the Bronco, I think is a fantastic vehicle. Not just mechanically, it looks amazing, and I hate how some people have said there's been articles going out recently saying the Ford Bronco it's a great looking vehicle that is trash in every other way. No, we each had one. We love the styling. Yes, we love the styling.
100%.
But the rest wasn't trash. Our soft top did great in some of the coldest winters.
That was bothering you, it was the sound system, because the rest
just the sound system.
Just fine.
Yeah, and we had a very early model, so there's a few spaces, place under in the engine bay where there's a cable tie holding our windshield wiper tube. Our back, if you took off the plastic, it wasn't painted. The inside of the doors was missing just a little bit of paint. It had some paint. It was covered. The paneling was covered, but it wasn't perfect. But our second one pretty much was perfect, and we loved both of them. and they weren't hot trash. They had a ton of power. We had really no issues except one of our soft tops. The back came off. Part of that was from an attempted theft. And we still got free rivets in the back, and it made it look more military. Some metal rivets in the back, so I actually preferred it that way. So Ford treated us extremely well with our Bronco. We will be getting a min-model refresh, probably 2024. If not, maybe it'll get pushed off to 2025. But what are we going to get with that? Well, here's the thing. Beyond just a little, I hope they don't change the outside too much. I don't mind if the inside changes a little. I don't mind at all that it's plasticky. It should be. I want to get this vehicle wet. But better sound system would definitely be good. We loved our soft top, the hard top. Maybe they'll do a little bit of improvement in the sense of finally offering us the painted hard top other than on a Heritage. But we're looking at getting a work model, so maybe a model for fleet, as well as a premium model. So maybe premium will be its own model. I doubt it. I think it may be more of an added trim. And we already have the luxury package giving you a bigger sound system. So what could premium be? Well, maybe premium could be a more upgraded interior. As it is, we've already recommended here on the channel and other channels as well that the Wildtrak was kind of redundant. And then it got the Haas 3.0. And then I was like, wow, it's no longer redundant. It makes sense paying more for a Wildtrak now. It's got Haas 3.0. That's awesome suspension. Awesome steering rack. I want it. I ordered it. I can't have it, but premium. And now it looks like those built past mid-July, are going to be having sort of like the Job 2 for the Bronco this year. The Wildtrak's going to be in leather. And the base and Big Ben are going to be on marine grade vinyl. Very cool. So Tim Bartz at Long MacArthur Ford has an excellent video on that. You can check it out because he details it. I'll be detailing it later this week when I really pull out the order guide because I want to cover it right. But from what I can tell off a quick glance and watching Tim Bart's Long MacArthur video is that the Wildtrak will have leather as standard, which it's like, oh, I want that. But we're going to get built anyways before that. So we were paying more for that. So we'll find out if they incorporate it into the price or if there's a price increase. But pretty cool that the Big Ben is going to have marine grade vinyl. That was one of the things we loved about you loved it on the Badlands.
It's easy to wash. It's easy with the dogs. And if you forget your top off, I would say, like it happens the first week that you had the Badlands. Even if water is on
had too many beers and I fell asleep on the couch and it was a little wet on the inside. I forgot it.
Yeah, so with leather, you cannot leave it open with the rain. It will be bad.
Yeah. Now, premium, probably going to be something you can add on to let's say maybe Outer Banks, Badlands, and Wildtrak. And then you've got the Heritage Plus. So Heritage Plus, you already have that limited model, which you're only making, 1,965 of. You've got sort of the regular Heritage, which is just a black diamond upgraded. But Heritage Plus, maybe it'll kind of sit between the two, be a mass-produced luxury model. So instead of like a black diamond, maybe Heritage Plus is going to be a spruced up Outer Banks or a spruced up, the limited model, the Heritage Limited is a spruced up Badlands. So maybe, it could very well be a spruced up Outer Banks. So we'll see, because this is probably going to happen. Ford Authority points out that these specialty models have brought in good money for Ford, so we can probably continue to see them. I'm excited. I'm hoping we definitely do see more models, as long as they're their own distinct, as long as they're offering something, they're solving a problem or offering something more, not just for the sake of having a different name. So that covers the show for tonight, folks. I think we have covered it all. I'm sorry, Ford Maverick, how could we forget? Part of the big news tonight, Ford Maverick news. Let's cover a little Ford Maverick news, folks. So we've got the Scout Tuk-Tuk. And Ford Authority is calling it quite affordable. I don't know how much they're making per year. I think it's very cool, but this thing is $16,500 USD, US dollars, $16,500. It is very cool that a Ford Maverick has more payload than a classic Ram 1500. You have about 200 extra pounds of payload, about 150 to 200 extra pounds of payload over a classic 1500 Ram. So this thing can take this little Scout Tuk-Tuk.
That's a weird name.
But it's 16,500, folks. That is not, they're saying it's, you know, quite affordable. Yeah, that's right in the background in case people don't believe me. Go read the article at Ford Authority. So quite affordable at 16,500. I don't know. I don't. If I turn up the couch cushions, I don't think I'm gonna find that money, honey.
You need to keep your Mustang and don't board a Shelby.
I certainly don't have the looks to pick up a quick modeling contract and get 16,500. But the thing does look great. We're a little off topic tonight, but you've got a little sleeping area in the back now. That's not for dogs. Dogs are loving and kind. The cage is for children. Children are wild beasts. That's why they have put a cage up here. You cage your child in there, and you hope your kid doesn't gnaw the bars. But kids are noisy, smelly, and well, I guess we'll have to get used to that. But
it's just for you to don't fall at night.
Oh, is it now? Or if you try to take a nap while I'm driving, you need that just to hold you in. We wouldn't shake you up like that these days, that's for sure. So there's your interior. It looks pretty cool. You've got, you know, you can tell there's going to be some closed off casing here, so you can have access, probably pull out, and you know have access to what you'd need in a little camper. So we've got. The Badlands non-Sasquatch is the better value. Yes, I think Badlands non-Sasquatch is an incredible value on the Bronco. And now we've got time to reflect. I want to, when the Bronco Wild Track comes in, I'll get to really try it out. I'll hopefully get to put 30, 40 kilometers on it. Really feel for that Haas 3.0. If I feel like it's not worth the extra money, I'm going to go straight back to a Badlands mid package. That was the mistake. Badlands 1, we had to take our gloves off to, you know, take the key out and freeze our hands, and no heated seats. So I got a few complaints from the lovely lady right here.
Yeah, and we have a good news tonight. Speaking of Bronco Badlands, I need to say that 4 High 4 Low said Bronco Badlands Sasquatch is shipped now.
Yes.
So I wish you a quick delivery soon.
Right on. Right on. So Peugeot does approve the Haas 3.0, and very smart man. Respect his opinion. So if he says the Haas 3.0 is good, I believe him. I test drove it, and I did do a back-to-back comparison, but I was just on bad main roads, a bad highway. I didn't get to fully try it out. You know, I would love to be able to off-road the two. So we need to let's get back to a Bronco off-rodeo in New Hampshire. They would now, if they have a 2023 Wild Track, we just need to run to the Wild Track, or all run. You can't run.
Yeah.
All run, and then we can try it, because we should. They say it's a 1-year expiry, but I'll call up Ford. Maybe they'll let me squeeze in because from purchase date, it's been more than a year from our second Bronco, but maybe they'll let us go in. If not, well, I guess we'll just have to see if we can pay. But the Tuk-Tuk weighs 634 pounds dry. So that means once you put your stuff in it, it's probably going to get to about 1,000 pounds, but your Maverick can handle it. So very, very cool. We could have that at the cottage. Throw that rain on top of your hybrid.
Florida, we'll go with that. No.
We could save a ton of money. Well, even at the cottage.
Yeah.
You know, we'd have the water there. We could do paddle boarding and some water activities. Wake up by the river, head down to the lake, have a picnic.
You really want us to buy that?
I think I'd rather.
But is it a 2-bed person? Because here I see only a twin bed.
Well, the material on the bottom is probably for someone sleeping up top, and then someone to sleep. I bet that either unfolds, or maybe you just have limited sleep space.
And you need to sleep like that.
Yes, you need to sleep. It's the Scout Tuk-Tuk Vampire Edition when you sleep.
Doesn't seem large.
But actually, camper at 16,500, they're saying it's quite affordable, because when you think of the little units that you pull, I saw them I haven't produced any of that material or edited any of that material, but I saw at the show that a lot of those were running for, 25, 30, 35,000 Canadian, and they're little units, about the same space as this. Mind you get bigger units also for about $34,000 and have a nice sized unit that you pull with your truck. Now with the Lightning, in the summer, we would just get to the cottage. Just 150 kilometers, and we'd have about 200 kilometers, 250 kilometers of range when pulling about 5,000 pounds. Even more, even if we got a 3,500 pound one. So that's the show, folks. Covered all the news we've got to cover for this week. I'll see you tomorrow night over at Tim Bart's Long MacArthur Ford. And, I'll be in the chat at All Terrain Nation. Dave over at All Terrain Nation. Thank you, everyone, for making it to the show this evening. Really appreciate all the help that our members offer us. We'll be going up for another Members Live coming up soon. Within a week or two, we're going to be doing a Members Live because we try to do one every month or two, unless I've got real information that I can't really cover on the show here. Well, then when there's an emergency and we've got to share some intel, I definitely do that. That's the place to do it. Thank you so much, everyone. What do we wish them?
We wish you more cars and more power, but not more cars for you. You already have too much. Bye.
Take care, folks. Hope you get to put the pedal to the metal.